folks. Impromptu chat here at Alpha Wolf Capital. Now, I want to drive a couple of points home. Number one, I want to thank you for anyone that takes their time to watch the interviews that I do, because I know time is the most valuable thing you have, and I appreciate you taking that time to watch. And hopefully, well, actually today, there was some validation that the interviews that I do are doing some good, right? Some people got to participate in RCAT, and it was really a great thing to see. Somebody actually acknowledged it, and that resonated. That I want to thank that person, and there was a few people that joined on. I'm so happy that I had that little role in helping you maybe better your life a little bit. I talk about several companies. I left one off. XTRAF one is a company I think is doing amazing things. There are a lot of companies. ANIX, biopharmaceuticals, and I think there are a lot of companies that are doing amazing things that are tackling huge problems. And my point of all of this is that we can make a difference. It doesn't have to be necessarily all in investment dollars. It can be helping companies become recognized. Taking the risk of telling your boss, if you work in the construction field, hey, we should check out these two companies, SKYX and MAPPF, because this is what they do. And they would make the job site safer, more efficient, right? If we can shrink the adoption curve, it is a win-win for everyone. And if it makes sense, if it's saving lives, if it's reducing injuries, why wouldn't we do that, right? It's going to benefit everybody. Everybody wins. And so that's what I wanted to drive home. Thank you again for watching the interviews. I appreciate you, and it's nice to know that you appreciate me as well. So if you have any questions about this, because I ramble a little bit, I don't close some things out the way I would have if I really prepared for that. I didn't prepare for this. So if you have any questions, just email me at tim@alphawolftrading.com, and I'll be happy to answer them. And that's it. Have a great day. This is not to be taken as investment advice. I am not a certified financial planner. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. I encourage everyone to do their own due diligence. What's happening, folks? Coming at you with a impromptu 10:30 at night, my time, little update, and I'll just let you know what made this happen. I just had somebody on StockTwits actually, call out and say, because of the move in RCAT, thanks. And I got to tell you, I've been doing this a long time, and so look, I'm going to tell you a couple of things right now. You may notice the new logo behind me. I'm going through a rebranding, and I'm changing some things. You're going to see a lot more changes. When I think about what I do, it's a lot of work. I'm at 10:30 at night right now. I'm still working, and I'll probably be working until 12:30, 1 o'clock. I'm going to be editing interviews. I got 3 interviews that I'm going to be putting out that I've got to edit. And this is a lot of work, and I don't get compensation for the work that I do. Literally, I get paid when the stock moves. Now, I don't have, my crystal ball is terrible at, I'm terrible at the timing of when a stock is going to move. But what I do extremely well, and I have done extremely well all my life, is being able to identify good opportunities, good people. I can't emphasize enough to all of you, whoever's watching this, you can have a great product, you can have a great service, and you've probably heard me say this a lot of times. It's leadership, it's the people. And when I can look someone in the face and I know, or I feel that they are being 100% honest with me, they're being transparent, I know that they can't control everything, right? I know that there are circumstances beyond their ability to control. So even though they guided this or they said that and it didn't work out that way, I admire the people that are putting it all on the line and trying to accomplish, grow a business into a big corporation, a successful company. Because when you look at the impact of what that does, the people that get hired, it's a positive thing all the way across the board. So I get very frustrated when I see people bashing a company, when the CEO's got, it's his biggest investment, right? I mean, or the founder. Nobody wants the thing to be successful more than they do, right? So the last thing that they also want to have compiled on top of that, if the pressure that they're feeling is they're watching their wealth get hammered because Wall Street is doing whatever, right? They're punishing the stock, and he's going through a hard time too, or she. They're going through a really difficult period as well, and then they've got to deal with the retail investors coming on and just adding on to all that bullshit, and that's frustrating. I'm down. I'm feeling the pain too, and then I have people bashing me about, oh, you said this, you that. Look, man, my thesis doesn't change. If I like the company, and if I like the CEO, and if I like what they're trying to accomplish, I'm going to continue to support them. I'm not going to go out and bash them. You will never see me go out and bash a company. If I decide I don't want to be involved with that company, and you will find that out through watching my videos, if I don't want to be in the stock, if they do something that is rubs me the wrong way, or I think changes the way I think about the company, I'm just going to walk away. I'm going to sell the stock, take my loss, and I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm going to look for the next one that's going to be the winner, right? Because why do I want to waste my time bashing a stock? Especially if I own it still. I've never understood people that are bashing a company that supposedly they own shares in. Do you somehow think that is going to help the stock price go up? It's not. You're making other people question whether or not they should be in the stock because you're bashing the CEO or bashing the management team and calling them liars and calling them this and calling them that. That makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. So it's such wasted time. There are a lot of good companies out there. And especially in this generation, everybody wants instant gratification. And I can tell you, investing, which can be unbelievably rewarding, is a patience game. You have to have patience and you have to have conviction. And why do I have conviction? Because I get to know these people. I get to know, I trust them. I like them. I respect them. I think I admire what they're trying to accomplish. And I want to help them accomplish that thing. Because I think it's better for everyone. It's better for all of humanity. It's not bullshit. I mean, I spend my 7 days a week. I work 7 days a week. Why? Because I love what I do. I love finding companies early. And, Red Cat is one. Aurora Spine had they just reported yesterday. They've had a nice move up. And I think that's just starting. And I want to clarify, I am not saying all this stuff right now. I'm not telling anybody to buy a company stock. It's not what I do. I present what I think is a compelling opportunity. And like I said, I've always been pretty good at picking companies that nobody's paying attention to. And I stand by those companies until they do something that will make me change my view. If something fundamentally changes, or if, and I'm thinking of, I can think of a couple companies right now, just off the top of my head. You know, you lie to me about something, I'm gonna have a hard time with that. And I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. I'm just gonna quietly go away. If you see somebody on my podcast, or whatever you want to call it, and then you never see them again, that would be an indication that I'm probably not doing anything more with that company, okay? And if you're wondering about, hey, are you going to be interviewing such and such again, and I come back to you and say no, there's a reason. I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to waste my time bashing the company. It's too important to me to spend my time finding other companies that are worthy of having support to help them achieve their goal, if that makes any sense. So when I say the impact that I want to have is I want to positively impact as many lives as I can while I'm here. And there's no better way in my mind to do that than to help a small company. I used to think it was helping retail investors become better investors. And that was a very narrow mindset, because number one, you have to find a bunch of people that want to learn about investing, that want to go through all the process that it requires. And the bottom line is most people don't like doing what I do. It's not glamorous, it's not fun, it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of boring. It can be a very boring thing to research companies, invest, watch your money, watch your investments go down, add more shares, which is all the things that Wall Street tells you not to do. Don't ever add to a losing position. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's all relative to time. A lot of games get played on Wall Street. I would say probably 99% of retail investors don't understand how Wall Street really functions. I would say 95% of the small cap companies do not understand how Wall Street truly functions. The banks, the financial institutions are not your partners, they're not your friends. The easiest way for a company to identify whether or not they have found a true partner in a financing is by the terms. Look at the terms. If they are a true partner, if they believe in what you're doing, if they recognize that what you're bringing to the table is going to benefit humanity, and they really care about that, they are not going to do a financing deal that hurts the company or hurts the initial shareholders that bootstrapped the company to get it to where it is today. No way somebody would do that. They would not hurt the company in order to give them a financing deal. They wouldn't do it. If they believe in the company, and if they see what they're doing, and that if they achieve their goal, the world's going to be a little bit better of a place. Why would you screw them, right? Why would you hurt them? Why would you massively dilute them? Have them sell the shares below market price, 30, 40%, whatever, after the stock's already been crushed 90% or 70%, and then on top of it you get warrants that, you literally, what kills companies is capital. Two things happen. Companies underestimate the amount of time it's going to take to raise or to become profitable. They believe that if they build it, they will come. Like the Field of Dreams. That's a movie. That's not reality. You could build something that solves a major problem. And guess what? That's only half of your problem. Because you built it. You have the solution. It's obvious. And I'm going to tell you one right now. MAPPF. This company has built a product that costs this country 30 to 60 billion a year annually, because we have 500,000 utility strikes every year. And this company builds a software that can identify underground utilities within centimeter accuracy. Working on this, he's been I don't know how long it's been, 16 years, 20 pioneer patents, literally thinking about this before we had smartphones. Okay, think about that for a second. Before we had smartphones, he knew that we were going to have the ability to capture, record, upload to the cloud with any mobile device. He knew that was coming. He designs a software, and he recognizes that precision is extremely important when it comes to identifying things that are buried underground. You hit a high pressure gas line, people die. You hit a sewer pipe and it's leaking into our water supply, into our food supply, people get sick. This is serious shit for everybody, right? This impacts us all. And yet, this solution has been out there, and you will see every day, somewhere in the United States, a utility has been struck. Everybody's gone through a power outage. Everybody's lost the internet, right? Somebody cuts the fiber, somebody cuts the power. This happens every single day. And we have a solution, and the adoption curve is taking forever. It's so obvious to me. Why are these things happening? If you know somebody that works in construction, or you yourself work in construction, wouldn't you want your job site to be safer? I mean, and I'm not being sarcastic, I'm saying this exists. I spend my time not just researching companies, I am actively going out and reaching out to some of the biggest general contractors on the planet. And I am sending them a direct email. And I'm saying, listen, I don't want anything from you. All I would like you to do is take a look at these 4 companies, because they could help you be more efficient on your job sites. They could make your job site safer from the moment that you start using them. And if you talk to contractors, if you talk to big construction companies, you ask them, what's important to you? They will say, number 1, safety. That's a high priority for their employees, supposedly. Safety. Number 2, get the job done on time. Number 3, come in under budget. That's how they make money. Pretty simple, right? So you would think that if there's efficiencies that they could get, because when you hit a water main or a sewer or cut the power or hit a gas line, the job site shuts down. Everybody goes home until it gets repaired, right? How much time can that possibly take? It could take a lot. It varies, right? Depending on where you are. May not get it done for 2 weeks. Who knows? That hurts the time, hurts the efficiency. And I didn't mean to go off on this tangent, but I think it is important for people to understand that, and that's why it's so insulting when people say, I'm a paid hack, or I don't have to do this at all. I could just do my thing by myself and not share any of this stuff. But what I see is the opportunity to make the world a little bit better of a place. And I want to help the other people that are doing things that want to try and make this world a better place. So the only way you can do that effectively, and I think one of the most impactful ways you can do that, is to help a little company that has tackled a big problem that could save lives, and try to make everybody aware. Because what Reddit did was Reddit made it very obvious that there is strength in numbers. The problem with what Reddit did was they focused on 2 shit companies. And I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but AMC and GameStop were challenged, and still are challenged companies. You're reliant, at least in AMC's case, someone else's product to be good so that you can get people to show up at your place where you overcharge for popcorn and candy, and it's the experience, right? The CEO, I tried to get that CEO on a long time ago. I tried to get an interview with him. I couldn't get to like the 5th guy below him. That company was on its way out. It was on its way out of business. It was going to go bankrupt. And then the whole Reddit thing happened, and it went to 70 and change. And Reddit the Reddit people were saying, buy it and hold it at $72 a share. And they missed a golden opportunity. They missed an amazing opportunity, actually, because a lot of people made a lot of money in that run. It was a short squeeze. That's what happened. Not necessarily a impactful thing for humanity. It was a short squeeze, and a lot of people made a lot of money, and that was a good thing. But it was a garbage company. I still think it is a garbage company. And at that time, just so everybody knows, 51% of AMC was owned by a Chinese company. And when it was on its way under, that would have meant the CEO and the Chinese company that owned 51% were going to take a pretty big beating. What wound up happening is that they got a golden parachute. They got that. The Chinese company doesn't own 1% of that anymore, because when it ran, they got out. And Reddit is the one that allowed that to happen. So as I see things like that, and I believe that those are companies that don't deserve the golden parachute, right? And then I see guys like Paige Tucker that came up with this unbelievable idea, and when Trimble and all these other billion-dollar corporations have tried and not been able to accomplish what he accomplished. And when I talked to him about it, when we first started talking, he was telling me, well, Tim, I said, so how did you figure this out? How did you get to the centimeter accuracy? He's like, well, you gotta take into consideration the constellation of the satellites and the curvature of the Earth. And I'm looking at him thinking, who does this? Who sits around and thinks about this stuff? He deserves to reap the rewards of having the foresight to come up with a solution to a $1 billion problem in the United States alone. And it's a global problem because we do it the same way. The construction industry is second to last in terms of industries that adopt technology. Why is that? I mean, it kind of makes sense. They're good old boys. They're craftsmen. They are not tech people. But if I were to look at any industry right now today, the youth doesn't want to work construction. So they're going to have a labor problem. Tudor Perini, which is a very big contractor, just came out and said they're not going to bid jobs over $500 million contract size anymore. Because the main reason, labor pool. They don't have enough workers. So if you are a company that relies upon getting these big projects, multi-billion-dollar projects, completed on time, under budget, safely, tough way to go when you don't have the labor pool, and you're second to last in terms of industries adopting technology to make your jobs more efficient. The process of how a general contractor runs a job, I have talked to general contractors and said, check this out. See if it makes your job more efficient and safer. If it does, you've already won, right? But then think about this. You're not just going to make sure and verify that it does what it says it's going to do. But once you do that, because you're a $7 billion a year annual revenue company, you go and you buy the stock of the company that you just verified is going to make your company safer and more efficient. And then you announce to the world that we're going to use this product on every one of our future projects, because why? They make our jobs safer and more efficient. What happens to the stock? You could say, does that I don't know, could that be insider trade? I don't think it is. I mean, if you're the customer who has identified a company that makes you safer and more efficient, why wouldn't you buy the stock if they're publicly traded, right? These things are what I see and think about every single day. These are the things that drive me. I think about how much further along we could be as society, humanity, if we didn't spend all of our time doing stupid shit on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. We're gifted with a certain amount of time on this planet. And I think that all of us are capable of having a positive impact. You can have a positive impact and you can have a negative impact while you're here, right? There's those people that just want to hop on board and just bash and do things that are just a waste of time. Harp on the past, all the mistakes that are made. I'm a person that mistakes are an awesome thing. They are a great educator if you learn the lesson and don't repeat the mistake. So if we as a society started to recognize companies that are doing something to benefit humanity, whether it's in your industry or not, you try to understand how those companies or those things that they're trying to fix do directly impact you, because they do. It's your tax dollars that have to pay at times for the repairs to the utilities, right? It's all interconnected, and we can't do anything above ground without knowing what's going on below ground. And there's 35 million miles worth of underground utilities in the United States alone. 35 million miles. Think about that for a minute. Cable, gas, electric, sewer, telecom. We have lead pipe that they just did a mandate. We have lead pipe in the ground that they want pulled out. All the lead pipe has to be pulled out of the ground by, I think, within 10 years. Now, I can't remember how much the project costs, but I want you to think about this for a second. It's a big amount of money to get all the lead pipe pulled out of the ground. Over the top of the lead pipe, because typically water is buried the deepest in the ground. Over the top of that lead pipe, we have laid cable, electric, fiber, right? You're not going to just go down, grab that pipe, and pull it out of the ground without potentially tearing a whole bunch of shit out with it, right? That we don't know exactly where it's buried, because we didn't have any way to exactly pinpoint where the utilities are buried. They're on as-built plans, paper as-built plans, maybe in a cardboard box somewhere, or not at all. So how do you know with accuracy where all this stuff is, this 35 million miles of spaghetti bowl under the ground? That's why we're hitting stuff all the time, because we don't know where it is. So if anyone that thinks that we're not going to go to a digital map of everything that's underground, it's gonna happen. It has to happen. We can't just keep putting shit in the ground and not know where it is. And today, we will do brand new jobs where we're putting fiber and stuff in the ground, and we're not recording it as it goes in the ground. So forget identifying it once it's already there. We're not changing the processes that we use today to record the precise location of the stuff that's going into the ground on new projects right now. Think about that. Think about the insanity of that. And you have a product that someone created that would save, there would be no more deaths from hitting. I mean, I'm not going to say it will never happen, but they have proven that they can reduce utility strikes by over 90%. What could the country do with that money that we save on not fixing utilities that we strike on accident, right? What can we do with that money? Could it go to the school system? Could we have a better school system? There are so many things that do impact you directly, even though you don't really, you have nothing to do with construction, right? There are so many companies out there. What I love about what I do, and this is why I work until the wee hours of the morning, there are so many companies out there that are trying to do amazing things. If there is a problem that we have as a society, somewhere is trying to solve that problem. I promise you. And when you find these companies and you see how passionate these people are about really wanting to solve a problem, and then they do, and they're like so excited, and what happens? They run out of money. They start to run out of money because it's taking longer for us, for the world, to adopt their solution. The longer that takes, the longer they have to continue to borrow money. So as shareholders, how can we help reduce or shorten that adoption curve, right? 13% of the population are early adopters. You got to get to 70 to 80% to have your solution become the standard. I'm going to give you another example. SKYX is one you probably see me talk about. This is another company that literally is revolutionizing. They have a revolutionary product that every year people fall off the ladder, get shocked because they didn't turn the right breaker off because it was mismarked, break a leg, break a hip, right? You're up on a ladder with a ceiling fan or a light fixture that's already awkward and bulky and sometimes heavy. And I only know this because I've done I don't know how many ceiling fans. And you feel like you need 3 arms to be able to wire the thing to the ceiling. And you're up on a ladder, and if you got high ceilings, 20 feet in the air, it gets hairy sometimes. You've got a product, which I want to beat myself up for not coming up with this idea because it is so friggin' smart, that literally enables you to, you put the receptacle in the ceiling, that takes like 3 minutes. You put 3 wires in, you screw you tighten the screws down, you take 2 screws, you put it up in the junction box, boom. You've got a receptacle, just like you have a wall outlet, right? Okay. Then you take the cover plate, you slap it on, you go down to the ground, and you grab your ceiling fan or your light fixture, and you put the plug end on your fixture on the ground, not up on the ladder. That takes another, 5 minutes or so? Then you take the unit, you push a button on the side of it, you walk up the ladder, and you stick it in the hole, you push it up, let go of the button, you're done. And now every single fixture, if I wanted to, and I'm gonna paint this picture for you, if anybody's still listening, because now I'm going on a rant. But if in the summertime I have a ceiling fan, but the wintertime, and it's getting cold here in Vegas right now. It is, I mean, not compared to what you're probably dealing with back east, but it's cold here. I have to heat the house, right? They have, SKYX has, this is just one product. They have a ceiling fan that has a ceramic heater at the bottom of it. And this thing pumps out some heat, right? So what you do is you reverse the blades so that, because heat rises, and it pushes the heat, the blades are pushing the heat down to the floor. So imagine if you're in your bedroom, right? You've got the ceramic heater above your bed, pretty close, right? Which is pushing the hot air down to the bed. Now, why is this significant? I'll tell you why. I live by myself. I don't need to, well, I've got my brother. Sometimes it's kind of like being by myself. So I have to heat the entire house, right, in order to heat our bedrooms. If I have a ceiling fan with a heater on the bottom of it, all I have to do is let the heater heat up my bedroom, right, with the ceiling fan. Right now, I have a ceiling fan that I never turn on in the wintertime because it's cold, right? Now I have a heater. I turn on the ceiling fan, it's pushing the heat down, and I do not have to use any natural gas to heat the house because I'm heating the area that we're in, right? And then in the morning, whatever, I mean, I can turn the gas on if I want, but usually here in Vegas at least, we've got sun all the time. It may be cold outside, but it's still heating the house. So, where am I going? All right, so think about this. I've got my ceiling fan plugged in to that outlet, right? I can now take that ceiling fan down, my summer ceiling fan, I pull that down, I pop up my winter ceiling fan in 10 seconds. And I'm not exaggerating, okay? Because once the receptacle's there, whatever you want to plug in to that receptacle, you just put the plug in on the fixture, right? So push the trigger in, or the button in, pull the other one down, put it on the ground, grab the other one, walk up the ladder, push the button in, pop it in the hole, you're done. It is not an all-day project anymore. We do not think in these terms, because you want to know why? It was never an option. It's never been an option. Think about interior decorators. Think about party planners, right? You're going to have a black tie affair tonight. Tomorrow night, you're going to have a disco party. You've got chandeliers. Oh, by the way, if you're a maintenance, if you're a hotel and you have to have those little crystals cleaned, you ever seen the people up on ladders doing that? They're cleaning each crystal at a time. What can you do now? Pop it out, take it out back, hose it off, let it dry, pop it back in. You're not going around on a ladder cleaning every little crystal. The benefits of what this company is offering, and again, I've presented this to contractors, and I don't even get a response. This is the thing that absolutely baffles my mind. It infuriates me, actually, because people get hurt. And anytime I see somebody getting hurt, when it didn't have to happen. There's a solution. And it's really, I want to say, because the bigger a company gets, the harder it is for me to get to somebody that can make a decision. That's why I love small cap companies so much. I have the ability, their egos have not gotten so big that they aren't going to waste their time talking to me, right? The small cap companies want to talk to me. They want to talk to me because they need somebody to recognize them. Wall Street doesn't, because the funds are way too big. They've gotten so massive, they run a 10, 20, $30 billion fund. They can't look at a $50 million market cap company. They couldn't buy one, they can't buy it. They'd have to buy the entire company, right? That is where retail investors have their advantage, actually. But here's the rub. You do have the advantage to be nimble, to be able to get into these companies before any of these funds or even know they exist. They don't even know they exist because they're too small. They can't touch them. So if you can identify them early, you're going to go through a lot of swings, man. Up and down, up and down. It's not going to be fun. It's not, a lot of times. And it is painful for me too, believe me. So when I have people that want to bash me because everybody can be right about a stock. That's the beautiful thing about the stock market, is that depending on your time frame, you will be right. The stock will get hit. Bad news will come out and the stock will get crushed. I'm not selling. I am not selling. I am adding to my position when it finds an area of what I think is support, right? That's how you build a really nice size position. Because I have the conviction, because I talk to the owners and I know what they're doing, right? And I believe in what they're doing. I believe in ProStar 100%, because he had the foresight to create what he created, and it could be a benefit to humanity. And that may sound hokey. I don't give a shit. I don't really care if you think that sounds hokey. I think I have been involved in enough companies that I have seen the impact that they can have when they go from a little company to a big corporation. And nobody has to know that I participated in that development, right? That's not what I'm doing it for. I'm not doing it for a pat on the back. I'm doing it because it's a benefit to humanity. It's going to make the world a better place. It's going to save somebody's life. That is powerful to me, right? That is meaningful to me. That is why I do what I do. And tonight I got recognized for it. And I've been doing it for I don't know how many years. I don't even really know how many years I've been putting my stuff out for free. And I work my ass off, okay? So tonight, when I saw it, it was like, it hit me. It hit me because I gotta tell you, there are times when I feel like just not doing it anymore. I really have gotten to that point because people sometimes just really suck. And I wonder why do I want to help people so bad? Because a lot of them really just suck. They bring no value. They're just negative energy draining people. And life is too short for that shit, man. We have to, in my mind, and I'm wearing this, and this wasn't planned, I didn't put this on. I'm literally working behind my desk. This just happened. So I'm going on this rant and I probably turned a bunch of people off, and that's okay. The people that stick around and the people that are benefiting, because I can tell you, DUOT Technologies, WYY, YPoint. I'm gonna drop another one that I really like, and hopefully as soon as I get these things edited, there's gonna be another one, brand new company, but it's not brand new to me because I've been talking to the CEO for the last 3 years. I know him. I've gotten to know him well, and I like him, and he's a straight shooter, and he's done an amazing thing at the company that he's with. He's turned it around, and the stock is at its all-time low. If you go watch what he's done, if you look at what he's done over the last 3 years, it's amazing. It really is amazing. He's turned, the company had 15 employees, now they got 150. He is the epitome of what I'm talking about when I say the biggest impact, the positive impact that you can have is when you help a small company become a large company and all the people that get hired. And think about how that helps out the community that the company is in. And think about how that helps the economy overall, right? All of those things are positive, every one of them. That's without even taking into consideration their actual products and what they do and how many lives they benefit, right? So when you think the multiplier effect of that, and then throw on top of that the investors that got involved in the company not because they were looking to make a quick scalp, not because they were looking to make 10 cents or 50 cents or whatever. It's because they saw what the company was going to do, they believe in it, they want to support it, right? And because of that, because those people backed them, they were able to get to a point where they're profitable and sustainable, and that's when the fun really begins. But it's getting to that point that takes it takes a long time. It always takes longer than I think it's going to take. It always, because I expect people to see the value and make the right and do the right thing. Do the right thing because it's gonna make your job site safer. It's gonna make you more efficient. It's gonna do this. It's gonna do that. I always think it's gonna be like so obvious that why wouldn't they do that, right? Why wouldn't? And it's sometimes I have to wonder, like, as long as it's taken with MAPPF. I mean, Colorado made it a law because the department or a CDOT used it, and it was so efficient. On that project, I'm just going to tell you, they had 2 phases. Kiewit was the general, 2 phases of this project. The first phase, and it was an 11-mile expansion, freeway expansion. It had so many utilities in Denver, Colorado, that it was considered to be one of the most difficult jobs Kiewit has ever undertaken. And they've been around since like 1846, okay? 4th largest, and they're self-performing general contractor, which is kind of unique for generals. They had 147 utility strikes on the first phase. 147. Same crew, same relative size for phase 2, using Pointman from ProStar. They had 3 utility strikes from 147. And those 3, by the way, were user error. So it would have been 100% no utility strikes. Think about the impact that has on a job, on getting it done on time and under budget, right? Because time costs, right? That's a big cost. If you have to shut down the job for 2 weeks or a week 147 times, think about it, right? So when I see this stuff, and then I try to reach out to general contractors, and I'm saying, I want to help you make your job site and your, safer and more efficient, and I can't even get a fucking response. Excuse my French again. I mean, what is wrong with these people? Are they dumb? Are they just stupid? I don't know. Or do they just not read my email? I don't know. I have had face-to-face meetings with very high up people that have been with the company for 29 years and said, look, this is the deal. All I'm asking you to do is just check it out. Just check it out. And if it does what it says it's going to do, you've already won. But then I throw in, and then of course there is always the option that once you have confirmed that, you could buy the stock because it's like a penny stock. And you can tell your employees actually to buy the stock. I mean, you don't tell them. You just say, hey, this is we're going to be using this in the company because, well, it's going to make your job site safer, and it's like pennies, literally, right? How many lives could that change? How many lives could that positively benefit when you tell your employees, look, we're going to use this on all of our jobs because it makes us safer. We're not going to have any hanging wires from the ceiling anymore. No homeowner is going to have a pair of wires hanging from the ceiling when they try to install a light fixture or a ceiling fan. You're never gonna get electric shock again because there's an outlet up there, just like there's an outlet on the side of the wall. And this is an idea that this gentleman has been working on for 16 years. 16-year overnight success that still hasn't become an overnight success because people still don't really understand the product. And once they do understand the product, because it'll only take one installation of a ceiling fan or a light fixture with their product, and the light bulb, no pun intended, is going to go on. You would never want to go back to installing fixtures the old way ever again, unless you're just into doing things the hard way, right? I want you to think about how many light fixtures there are. Go to a hotel. I am in Vegas. I will go down to Caesars or one of these hotels. I will look up in the banquet room and count the chandeliers. Do you know how many banquet rooms there are in Las Vegas? How big they are? Do you know how many chandeliers there are in one banquet room? When you start to look at the amount of lights that are above you, the numbers are staggering, mind-blowing. If I told people what the real numbers were, they would, and if I told people what I actually think SKYX could earn if they captured 20%, 5%, if they captured 5% of the light fixture market, ceiling fan market, 5%, it's going to be a really successful company. What do I think they're going to capture? Way more than 5%. I believe that wholeheartedly. Because they have NEC approval, they have ANSI approval, they have become part of the architect curriculum. If you want to maintain your architect license, you have to get continuing education every year. They have become part of that curriculum. They are. It's not a question. The number one thing that drove the founder and inventor to create this product was there had to be a safer way. Because every year people get hurt and people die. Because why? It's not just a matter of falling off the ladder. That definitely happens more, but miswiring a fixture, causing a house fire, which then leads to people dying. That happens, right? And whether it happens once a year, twice a year, does it matter? If a family gets taken out because a fixture was miswired, does that make it no family should get taken out, right? They have a smart system. You control your light and your ceiling fan with your voice or a phone app. Energy conservation, ESG. I mean, if you say you care about the planet and the environment and all that stuff, this should be a company you absolutely love, right? Because it's going to make the planet better. It's going to reduce the amount of your carbon footprint by putting it in, right? And then in their latest earnings call, they indicated that they are now in discussions with insurance companies about what? And here's another thing that drives me nuts. If insurance companies, what's the best way for an insurance company to make more profit? It's really simple. Get less claims. Think about it, right? So if you're an insurance company that bonds a job, why in hell would you not want ProStar's Point Man used on every project you bond? Because then you're ensuring that I'm not going to hit any utilities. Which means if you don't hit any utilities, they're not getting any claims, right? They could even potentially lower their premiums. They could incentivize, right? ProStar has potentially 3 ways to become mandated on every job. The general contractor, and I can tell you this, if a general contractor gets awarded a job, I can almost tell you who every sub is going to be on that job. Because general contractors typically have a group of subcontractors that they work very well with, and that is who's going to wind up being on the job, right? The general could say, listen, we're going to use this software to identify all of the underground utilities. if you're going to work on this job as the subcontractor, you are going to use this software too, because it's in real time, and we all know where all the utilities are. Now, I've had general contractors say, oh, we don't need that because we don't do the locating. We hire a locating company to do that. Okay, great. Bad process. The general, who is responsible for the overall job, should mandate that, hey, yeah, we don't locate them, but we sure as shit want to know where they are, precisely. And we want all of our subs to know where they are. And if we're all using the same software, guess what? We all know. And that makes the job 10 times more efficient, right? And here's the other thing. The sub doesn't have to go buy the software, come out of pocket, because what do? They just put it into the cost of the bid for the job, right? It's things like this. I try to figure out why these things aren't happening, why they are not adopted quickly. Because if we can shrink that curve, that adoption curve, shareholders, workers, everybody benefits. It's a win, 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 win. As shareholders, we could be the people that buy the shares off of a friend's recommendation or whatever, or some financial planner, and we just sit and hope and wait for good things to happen. And we're constantly hammering the company as to why you're not having more press releases. And then the ones that do have a lot of press releases get hammered for putting out too much fluff. If we are shareholders, we are part owners, and we like what they're trying to do. We're part of this movement to try and improve something, industry, whatever, right? So what else can we do to help? We can educate people about what is available to industries to help, right? We could become brand ambassadors. Now, the stars of the Kim Kardashians of the world, they get paid to be brand ambassadors. They won't recommend a product unless they're going to get paid buco bucks to do that, right? And there's influencers out there that's how they make their living. They get paid to say they like something, whether they really do or don't. We have the same ability to be brand ambassadors for companies and products that are doing things to benefit all of humanity. So it may sound like a corny pitch, but as I get older and I realize that I'm not going to be here a whole lot longer because I'm on the downside of my existence, it becomes more and more important to me to use the time that I have here wisely. And wisely to me is do as many things as I can to make this world a better place for people I don't even know. But I think that they deserve it. I think that we're blessed, all of us. And I am certainly not a person that has been perfect in my life. I have made a lot of fucking mistakes. But I am a good person. And I whether people know that or not, I'm gonna sleep well because I know I know who I am. There's no question of who I am and what I want. So I'm gonna cut this off now because I still have work that I have to do. And I didn't mean to make this a huge thing, and who knows what kind of blowback I'll get on this, but I'm happy. I'm really happy that the Red Cat thing has played out. I would absolutely keep an eye on UMAC because I think they are going to be a beneficiary of the Red Cat thing. I would take a hard look at HGRAF, and I'll let you know they're probably going to need to do a capital raise. But they have a product that is revolutionary, man. It's going to change some industries. Aurora Spine, best in class for spinal products. Somebody that is suffering from chronic back pain. And I could go on and on and on. Modular Medical Devices just had an insulin pump approved by the 510K clearance. That is going to make a lot of people that have diabetes lives better because it's not a big, expensive, complex insulin pump. It's a very simplistic model, right? I mean, I know I'm missing. I just want everybody to know that if you're new to this channel or you want to explain this channel to somebody, I will meet with people that I think have a compelling story. I will get to know the leadership. There are some things that are a litmus test for me. I will do the interview. I will edit it. I will put it out to social. I will give it to you and say, do whatever you want with it. Chop it up, make shorts out of it. I don't care. All I ask is that you do keep the full interview somewhere, because investors, not traders, when they're thinking of parking their money with somebody for an extended period of time, they want to know everything they can about a company. They want to know intimately the leadership. They want to feel, because all those things are the strategy, all that. All of those things give the investor conviction to be able to weather the ups and downs of being in a company's stock long term, because nothing just goes straight up. And I mean, there's just these rough periods, especially in the smaller cap stocks, man. They're more volatile. You have to have conviction. You have to believe. And you're not going to be right all the time, because there are people out there that are just really good salespeople and maybe not 100% honest, and you'll figure that out over time, and you're going to have to take a loss. But I would say majority of the time, they're good people. People are good. I think the majority of people are good, and they want the same thing that you want. They're trying like hell. Some people have extremely bad luck. COVID. There are challenges. If you've never run your own business, it's hard, man. It's so hard. So I would like to see retail investors get smarter and not bashing CEOs on the conference call, because what does that do? Nothing, man. I mean, nothing. It's wasted time. What happened has already happened. I want to know where we're going, right? I don't want to just sit and have a bitch session about everything that's been done wrong. That's just such a waste of time. I would much rather say, okay, so look, where are we moving forward, and how can I help you? I mean, I don't ever hear anybody say that on a conference call. I never hear a shareholder say, you know what, Pete, I know you're trying, and I know you've had some rough shit that's come up. How can I help you, man? Let me open my network up to you and see if maybe I've got somebody within my network that could help you, and maybe you could help them too. I don't know. Make that introduction, right? I do that all the time. And I do it for free. There are guys out there that would charge buco bucks to pair a couple of companies up to have them work together. They would charge big dollars. I charge zero because I know the two companies and I think they can help each other, and that's what I want them to do. I want them to help each other, and if I'm invested in both of them, well, eventually I'm going to get paid, right? If they help each other and that turns out to be a benefit, I'm going to get paid. I will get paid because the share price will reflect positive stuff eventually. It doesn't always all the time, and that's what makes this time right now so special. I've never been more excited about it, and I guess I'm going to close with this. I didn't wear this American shirt because this is a staged thing. I am so proud to be an American right now because of what happened in this country. And if that offends you, I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. I don't give a shit if that offends you. The country, what makes us so special is that I don't have the same faith as someone that's my neighbor. I'm not the same color. Maybe I don't have the same sexual preference. None of that shit matters to me. What matters to me the most is we're Americans. And I will go to war. I will fight with you. I don't care what you are. Woman, it doesn't matter. None of that shit matters to me. You're an American. So, because you're an American, I will fight for you. Because this is the best country in the world. Without question. There is no country that is as good as this country. And when I see people say shit like, let it burn, it infuriates me because they do not understand what has been sacrificed for us to be able to say whatever the fuck we want. Let it burn? You can say that. You're right. You have that right. You have that right because people died for you to have that right. We are so lucky and fortunate to be in this country. And if it does burn, I have news for you. Nobody's coming to save us. We go out and save everybody else. We get involved in everybody else's bullshit. We are the world, I guess, policemen. And I've watched what we have done in the last 16 years, and I'm going to tell you, I felt like this country was over if this went the other way. If that election would have gone the other way, the country as we know it was not going to be the same country. And when those people that said let it burn, when it happens, they were going to have a very, it was not going to be a thing where you were going to be able to go, told you so, and feel good about it. Because I really believe that we would have lost the most special thing the world has ever seen, this country. We have made mistakes. And what did I tell you earlier? I think that mistakes are the best teacher. We want to pull down statues and basically try to ignore our history. The history is what made us what we were. There was a time in this country when we were proud to buy American. It meant two things. It meant it was built in America, and number two, the quality was top notch. We as a society have said, we're so good as Americans, man. We don't mine. We don't have coal plants. We don't pollute. We save the spotted owl and the fucking bug. I can't remember, some bug. We do all these things. And then what do? We send our manufacturing jobs to China, where they open a coal plant every other week, where the the pollution is so thick that you can't even barely see the buildings. Where they use child labor to make the products that we have sent over there. They pay their people $1 a day. What have we done? We have made China a superpower because we buy all of our stuff from them. We know that they use child labor. So when you buy products from them, what are you doing? We know that they're polluting the air. So when you buy products for them, what are you doing? We're not good because we're not polluting here. We just shipped it over shores. We don't have to see it. But we're as guilty as they are because we're buying the products from them. If we weren't buying the products from them, if we said, if you're going to continue this practice, we're going to put 100% tariff on your products, which means the consumer has to pay more, us. But it also means that maybe we can build it in the United States again. Think about this for 1 second, and whether you want to agree with me or not, again, I don't give a shit. Yes, products will go up in cost if there is 100% tariff placed on them. Fact. The reason that is a good thing is Trump doesn't want to put 100% tax on everything. He actually says, and nobody pays attention, if you don't want to pay the tariff, make it in America. That's it, man. If you don't want to pay the tariff, make it in America. Bring the jobs back to the U.S. And guess what? Those will be high-paying jobs because, well, the unions want everybody to make good money. Everybody wants to make good money, but nobody wants to pay up for the product. I hear you, Coke. See, it's pissing her off, too. Nobody wants to pay up for the product. But we can't have these amazing jobs that pay high dollars if we don't charge high dollars for the product that we're making. So figure it out, people. What do you want? I personally want more jobs. I do want America first. That is what I want. I don't want to get involved in everybody's bullshit wars. I want to protect America, and I want to make good products, and I want people to have a job, and I want people to be healthy and happy. That's what I want. I want people to get along, and I don't want to keep harping on shit that happened 400 years ago, or 300 years ago, or 100 years ago, because you can't change the past. You cannot change the past. You can ignore the past, you can't change it. We can change the future together. That's what we can do. We can focus on the things that matter, and we can make a difference by supporting small companies that are trying to do things to make us more efficient, keep us safe. This is a fantastic path that if everybody was on, think about what this world would look like, right? I'm done. Sorry about that. I didn't want to get all political either, but I'm so excited about the future of this country, and whether those people that think all those terrible things and said all those terrible things, that Trump and the people that we are Nazis and this and that bullshit, when the country, because I think we're about to enter a golden era. I mean, I really honestly believe that we're going to have an amazing turnaround. And when that happens, if that happens, I hope that there are some people out there that are honorable enough to recognize they were misled and they were wrong about Trump and his desire to make this country respected again, and to live in a country that you're proud to live in. We're never going to agree on everything. It's never going to happen. There are going to be some things that we will always be divided on. Those are not the things we should be focusing on. We should be focusing on the things that we can agree on to make the world a better place, we can't get everything we want. We just can't. We have to be able to come together and bend and say, you know what? Let's find common ground. Let's make it work. Let's fix the things that we can fix. And I hope that you will appreciate my channel more, maybe understand that this is what I want to do. I would like to have as much of a positive impact on as many lives as possible. And if you want to help me in that journey, if you want to join that fight, I'm right here, man. I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here. And I would welcome you with open arms. Okay? Everybody have a fantastic evening. I think we're going to have an amazing time together in the next few years. And God bless you all. And that's it. Later.